All righty, you guys know what that means. That means a special episode. Remember when I told you, like, the very second episode that I changed up the music and you're like, what the hell?
Yep.
I said, well, special. So this is a special episode. We do have a special guest with us.
Yes, we do.
But before we get to the special guest, let us tell you who we are.
All right, welcome to the Empty Cans Podcast.
Thank you very much. My name is Mark.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Davey.
Davey, welcome.
Welcome, Davey.
Thank you.
So, as you guys may have guessed, this is our last podcast of the year. So we would like to definitely thank everybody that has listened to our podcast over the year. Unfortunately, we only came out with 10 episodes. We had a little bit of a snafu last month, so we couldn't do one. But hopefully this one's going to make up for last month.
Absolutely. We'll get more next year. All right, well, today's episode is all about homebrew equipment and a little bit of basics.
Yeah, we have told the audience before that we have homebrewed in the past. We kind of slowed down a little bit because...
Life.
You're right. Our wife.
The wife doesn't like it.
Life and wife.
Right,
Yeah.
life and wife. So,
Yep.
but that's why we brought on Davey.
Yeah.
Davey is our homebrew extraordinaire.
Don't say extraordinaire.
Too much?
I'd say jackleg.
Oh,
Jackleg of homebrewing.
Davey is our hillbilly savant.
There you go. That'll
homebrew.
work. That'll work.
There we go. Well, Mark, what have you been up to since the last podcast?
Well, since the last podcast was over 2 months ago, so
A lot of stuff.
shit, I've been a lot of places in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, well, we do have that one special episode that we're still waiting on permission to post it, right? So that the After Dark.
Yeah, we did a little bit of experimentation, and we recorded a podcast. We thought maybe we could post it for a After Dark episode.
Oh, did somebody say too many F words?
Well,
No.
Do I have to watch my lingua?
No.
no.
No, don't worry about that.
We need to get permission from all parties that were involved.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that actually started out at Mother Earth downtown.
It sure did.
It did, and
Did you have to bleep that out now? Boop, downtown. Started out at boop, downtown.
Yeah.
No, they get free press from us. It's all right. No big deal. But started out down there, had a good time, and the night went on. So anyway,
Yeah.
we'll get to that another time.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
The legalities of a podcast.
right. Davey, what have you been up to?
Nothing. I've been working. But I finally had some weekend times that I've been starting to brew again a little bit. And
Nice.
yeah, so it's good.
That's it.
That's pretty much it.
You don't go anywhere, try new things.
I go to eat
Okay.
weekends.
I do believe it was last week that we had a little gathering down at the Ironwood Social.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I got out.
Had a few beers there.
Hmm. That was fun.
What'd you have down there? What kind of beer did you grab?
That's the thing about drinking beer.
Sometimes you
hard
just
to
don't
remember. Yeah.
What did I have down there? I think I had a couple beers that I didn't like. Okay, I can tell you some memorable beers recently that I had that I didn't like. I went to, there's a bar by Fred Meyer's. I can't remember what it's called. And I had some Christmas beers there.
Okay.
And they were bad. I had
Okay,
a couple
so-
I was like,
So they were bad, or you just didn't care for that style?
well, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that's probably what it
You
is.
know, I mean, isn't beer just bad sugar? It's like you fucked up the sugar, friend.
Okay, moving on. Here we go. So let me jump into some beer news here real quick. I saw that the IBU, Idaho Brewers United, came out with a brewer's map, and they had it out there for if you wanted to get it and not go to the brewery to get it, you just kind of had to donate $1 and they would send it to you in the mail. So I got mine in the mail. I was a little bit generous. I doubled the donations. I gave him $2.
Big spender.
I know I am.
Yeah.
You know, I care about you. I support the locals.
Absolutely.
But the map is pretty badass. I recommend everybody get it. Use it as a guide for where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Where you want to go for your next beer.
Well, you know what I always say is, if you can't make good beer, have someone else do it for you.
Exactly. That's why I have somebody else make it for me.
Yep.
Because I can't do it.
Me neither. But I keep trying. Failure's the best path to success.
So on this map, they do have a few beer facts that I'd like to share with some people. It tells us that Idaho grows approximately 43 million bushels of barley every year.
Wow.
What is a bushel?
That is a very good question, Davey.
I bet with our technology today, we could probably pull a pocket computer out of our phones.
Out of our phones.
Wow.
Pull a pocket computer out of your phone
Okay.
Out of your phone. Okay.
and look it up. I bet it's a bale. A bale and a bushel.
What's a bale?
Same thing. And, you know, about yay by yay.
That's what I was thinking. Just,
You know,
just
if it's on the back
around.
of a truck, probably put 4 of them in a truck.
Yeah. 4?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway.
We're going off the
Yeah,
rails here.
Yeah.
All right.
Another fun little fact is that Idaho grows over 18 million pounds
I can
Of-
relate to that.
of hops.
Yeah.
18 million pounds.
I knew it was a lot, but I didn't know it was 18 million.
That's a lot.
That's a
And
lot.
we are second in the nation.
Yeah.
We're
Let's
number
break
2.
that to trucks. Divide by 2.
We're number
What's
2.
tons? I'm not going to
2,000.
do the math right now.
2,000 divided
2
by
million.
18 million.
18.
So
That's like 20 million.
It's a
I don't know.
still quite a bit.
It's a lot.
Still quite a bit. So there are several more little fun facts, fun Idaho facts about brewing and beer on this map. I suggest you go out, get yourself one, check it out. It's pretty awesome.
All right. So, what are we drinking today, guys?
So during our little pre-funk there, before we do our podcast, I picked up some Hop Truck Crossing Fresh Hop Cascade from Barley Brown. And this is one of the few remaining fresh hops that I've seen around town. So I picked this up. This is a bigger beer for sure. It is a 9%er.
Yep. Big beer. Yes, Davey.
So, what does fresh hop mean exactly? Does that mean they're taking wet hops and putting it in their beer? Or does it mean it's just fresh-ish, it's dried and it's fresh? Or does it mean wet, undried hops fresh from the pluck?
It depends. They can do it both ways, right?
They do. They have been doing it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I found out lately that sometimes they call a fresh hop when it's only one of possibly several fresh hops.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
yet
that-
they can still call it fresh hop. So
But isn't that a smash? Single malt, single hop?
not if they do multiple hops.
Right. Then it
Yeah.
would be a single multiple
Right.
ash hop.
Something like that. I'm not making shit up.
Oh, I am.
I know you are.
That's my
No,
job.
I'm not gonna.
I have no idea.
But this is a bigger beer. So let's give it a taste and,
All right.
and see what we think. What do you think, Davey?
It's big sugar.
Big sugar.
Big sugar. It's big sugar, but it's got the bitterness to counter it. It's kind of grassy, a little bit. So that makes me
That's-
think that they used wet hops in it.
Yep. Yep. I
Yeah,
agree.
They didn't dry their hops. They just stuck them in wet.
Yep. That makes sense.
What do you think, Tom?
It's good. I just don't. It's been out for a while, so I'm not sure like how well it's being preserved in that keg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hops fall out.
Yeah.
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 A lot of the fresh hops do kind of deteriorate after a certain amount of time.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah.
To me, it's a little bit darker of a malt.
Yes.
It does have a big bite to it, as well it should for a 9%er, but I think it's still very well balanced for a bigger beer. Some beers you get, it's just way off. You get either too much hop or too much malt, and it's just not right. I think this one's...
I like the way it finishes. It's got a nice, smooth finish to me.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all that grainy.
You don't think it's grainy?
Not much. Nope. Not terribly. Not a whole lot of depth of grain.
Oh, so you're saying like they just... one single...
No, I don't know
malt.
what they did. I'm just saying it's not like...
complex.
it's not hyper complex grain. It
Okay.
feels more focused on the
hop.
hop.
Yeah.
Well, and that's...
It's a pretty basic base to it, but you beef that up enough and get it high ABV. It's definitely full bodied, but it's not like bready.
And I think you really kind of get that from a lot of the barley brown beers. I mean, they focus, in my opinion, they focus a lot more on the hops. Kind of like the palate jack. I mean, shit, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, the malt is there, you can taste it, but I think the center of focus is all on the fantastic hops
sure.
they use in it.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
I like it.
Growing on me.
Yep, I like it. All right, so we'll just go over some homebrew equipment real quick, and then we'll kind of just talk about it. So some of the equipment you're going to need, definitely going to need 2 kettles. So your kettles are going to be where you to boil the water. You need a burner. You need a thermometer, a notebook to take notes in. You probably want to be prepared.
Yeah.
For sure.
Even you use a notebook.
Take notes.
don't you?
Yeah, I
absolutely.
always write down my stuff.
I got like a journal.
Yep. You'll need a scale, mash tun where you modify a cooler, hoses, pumps. Not everybody uses pumps. Muslin bag, you can use that. Carboy or bucket, sanitizer, airlocks. You don't want oxygen in your beer. It's not good. Siphon and hydrometer and bottles or kegs. So that's the basic equipment that you're gonna need.
So, Davey, there's a whole big list right there.
There's a big list.
Do you have everything on that list?
I do have all that stuff, but I
Okay.
try not to use all of it
Okay.
because, like I said, brewing beer is doing dishes. So minimize that. If you're going to be an actual functional brewer who drinks your own beer, cut all that shit out as much as you can. Make it simple so that you can actually go ahead and do it without pissing off your wife and get it done.
Right.
And don't make a mess of the kitchen and speed things up and make something that you enjoy. Unless you're going to be a business brewery, which that's not my intent.
Tom, what about you? You got that entire list right there?
Yes, except for the pumps. I don't use
Yeah.
pumps.
Oh, yeah, I don't use pumps either. I use a pitcher.
I'm not
My pump is like this. Pick it up, put it in.
Yeah.
Pick it up, put it in.
Nobody can see you doing that with your arm right now. So that's pretty cool.
I think I told a story with my words.
Okay.
Pick it up, put it in. Pick it up. It's like a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. For me, I personally don't use muslin bags. It creates a huge mess, but I don't care.
I've done it for the hops, like dry hopping before.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Yeah, I use them all the time because
Yeah.
I grow my own hops, so I use whole hops, and I don't want to mess with it in the boil, so I always use a bag for hops. I'm throwing whole hops in it and slur it around, but I don't think I get as good a usage that way. I think if I threw it directly into the boil and then scooped it out after, I'd probably get better usage out of the hops.
So I just throw my shit in.
And you're
then-
using ground hops, right?
Right, pellets.
Yep.
And so at the end, all that shit comes out at the end. It's just like a big cow patty.
On the
In my
bottom,
garbage
does it
can.
sink or does it float?
It sinks.
it sinks. Yeah.
All of it sinks?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be down.
So when I put it into I use buckets. I don't have a carboy. I had a glass carboy at one point in time, and it was a pain in the ass to clean. One time I cleaned it out. It was upside down drying, and it kind of slid off and right onto my iPad
Broke your iPad.
and broke the
No
iPad.
shit.
I said, "You son of a bitch!" And then I do believe the very next time, the carboy slipped out of my hand and crashed on the garage floor and shattered into a billion pieces.
Carboys are a
So,
bitch.
I said, "Fuck it! All right, I'm using buckets."
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
They're
I use
easier.
buckets.
If you're going to do a long ferment, like a long secondary ferment, you got to have a carboy because your seal is this big, which is, I'm making a 1-inch circle with my
Yeah.
hand.
Yes.
And whereas a bucket seal is this big, which is, I'm making a circle with my arms.
Yes.
It's a very large, and there's a lot of potential for infiltration through that large seal. But it's a hell of a lot easier to clean.
And we know that
Much more
infiltration is bad for the beer.
Infiltration is a bad situation.
That's why I bought the big mouth bubblers.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah.
It's like this big.
Yeah, yeah.
You get your whole arm in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Way easier to clean.
Yep.
Way
I
easier to
have
clean.
not used one of those.
Yeah, but tell everybody what
well,
your situation was with
The,
the big
the
mouth
only
bubble.
problem with the big mouth bubbler, I would say, is it does when you start to ferment that thing. The lids do not seal very well, so I had to make a huge modification. Literally, took a stick with the wrap and
Oh, to hold
tied
it
it down
down?
just to keep the pressure in.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck! It was terrible.
See, now people are realizing what kind of hillbillies we all are with our homebrew.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't matter in primary fermentation, which is when you get most of your shit, right? You're going to get
Right.
a bunch of mess with primary, and that's what you
Yeah.
want to clean easily. So
Yeah.
that's fine for that. And I have a bucket with a lid that doesn't seal all the way, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of CO2. It's pushing out. As long as it's pushing out, everything's fine. But I got
None's coming in.
I got
pushing out.
I got to catch it before it stops pushing out,
Right.
and transfer into something that is sealed,
Yeah.
hermetically.
Hermetically.
Hermetically sealed.
Be careful with that one.
Is that the one? Is that where you put the? I don't know what that means. I
don't
say
get that-
words that I
don't
hear
get that
sometimes.
fancy with the word. I don't.
Okay. Anyway, you want it sealed good.
Yeah, for sure.
So what
I think
about-
that's what hermetically means. Sealed good.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I wouldn't.
What about the hydrometer, guys?
yeah.
What? In case the audience that is listening to this doesn't know what a hydrometer is, what is a hydrometer? Tom, go.
The hydrometer is where it measures the gravity of your beer.
Okay.
It's a floaty thingy that
Right.
Yeah.
that floats more when it's heavier shit, and that floats less when there's less heavy shit.
Yeah, so
Right.
you take the initial reading, and then you do when it's all done, then you take another reading, and that gives you your percentage of your alcohol. So you do a little formulation.
A little bit of A, B, D.
Yes.
Yeah, usually what I do is I take an initial reading and see what my sugar content is, and they usually have your bricks and your specific gravity, and then they have an alcohol thing that says potential alcohol, and I say, "There's my potential alcohol. I'm done," and I don't take another reading because
You don't do another one?
No, fuck no. I don't care that much.
You could start out thinking, okay, I got a good 6% beer,
It
and
might be
since you
5.
don't take another one, it could be 3,
Yeah, it could be 3. That's possible.
Could
and
be.
you don't think that's cool.
No,
You don't care.
no.
Okay,
Who are you giving your stats to? Who cares?
I care
Why?
because I don't want to drink 37 of them. I get waterlogged.
Oh, I like to get waterlogged.
Oh no.
I want to drink a lot of beer
Quality.
without getting too
You're-
wasted.
You're one of them all-day drinkers.
I'm an all-day drinker, yes sir.
Too bad we don't have Mike with us tonight to appreciate these all-day drinker moments that we're talking about right
Yeah,
now. Because he's
absolutely.
an all-day drinker.
I don't
too.
want to drink 3 beers and call it good. I want to hydrate and maintain a nice, not ABV, but BAC, right?
Right,
I want to
right,
maintain a nice BAC
right.
and wake up feeling good.
So what are you doing during this 37 beers that you're drinking during the day?
Probably watching movies
Okay.
or playing video games
All
or
Nothing wrong with that.
or brewing beer if it's a weekend, the second week of the month weekend. That's when I need to.
Oh, to keep up your
to
stash.
keep up my stash. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
I drink about 5 gallons per week.
Fuck.
5 gallons a week.
Yeah. That's not weird.
Tom, how many gallons do you drink a week?
I don't even measure in gallons, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I measure it in kegs, right? I got a 5 gallon keg and I go through it in a week.
I don't even know if I drink a gallon.
Probably not, because you guys like to drink all the high ABV beers. Like drink 3 and then stop drinking. Then what do you do? Then what do you do?
Well, maybe. Hold on.
8 times 16? 96?
What are you talking about? Oh, you're
Ounces.
talking ounces?
Ounces.
There's
Talking
120,
basic math.
126 ounces in a gallon, I think. Something like that. Is it 132?
Okay, so I'm less than a gallon
Yeah,
a week.
I would say so too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
No, I drink
96.
way more than that.
96.
But he's drinking
ounces.
this 3% stuff that he's.
Yeah, I drink 3% stuff that I make.
Right.
Yeah.
We're-
Or Keystone.
Oof.
Did you? You're going to have to edit this. You do not say Keystone on this.
Wow. Keystone.
God
Who invited this guy?
I don't know. Fools.
This is terrible. No, I actually spring for the better stuff. Usually Thursdays, Fridays.
And what do you
I
do
have
when you
a
stop
couple
drinking?
of
You just start
7%.
coming down. That sounds
I
terrible.
go to bed.
Yeah, awful.
I don't know. I kind of like sleep. Sleep's a
Yeah,
good thing.
sleep's
I
good.
don't do
Sleep's
that very
great.
well.
Yeah.
Back in my prime, when I was brewing beer all the time, I actually cut a bunch of 2x4s up, had some plywood, and I built this tiered system.
The tree.
Gravity.
Right. And it was a heavy son of a bitch. So if I wanted to brew anywhere but my garage, it was like a chore to move all that shit to the backyard to
Yeah.
brew in the backyard.
Yeah.
But I did have I had my normal kettles and everything. I actually started out with a turkey burner. I saw that at fucking Lowe's they had a turkey fryer on clearance. I'm like, well, son of a bitch, that's a hell of a lot cheaper than a real kettle. So I got that.
What was it, 5 gallons? A
Um,
little less?
I think it's 8.
Oh, is
yeah,
it
it's
8?
probably 8.
It's
Nice.
so
Perfect.
When
It's
I
perfect
have
for a 5 gallon batch.
when I have a 5 gallon batch, I've got to slowly bring it up to heat, or it's gonna overflow for sure. It's gonna boil over.
Yeah.
But you don't mash in that.
No, I do not
That's
mash
just your
in that.
boil kettle.
I mash in igloo cooler,
Yeah.
10 gallon igloo cooler.
The false bottom.
I do not do a false bottom. I just do like a steel
A steel
braided.
mesh tube. Okay, I know the one.
I do
Yeah.
the braided thing you get off of a
Yeah, that works
sink or toilet thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get that.
I believe you said you just brew with toilet supplies.
Well, it wasn't used as a toilet supply when I
Right,
bought
right,
it.
exactly.
It was brand new. And I sanitized it, cleaned it, all that shit.
Well, do the germaphobe. Come on.
Right.
That's got to be the worst part about brewing, though. Just all the sanitation you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
do.
Oh, all the dishes. It's,
Oh my
it is.
God.
It's constant dishes.
It's just
Yeah.
nonstop.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially if you're bottling.
Oh,
Which
bottling
I won't
sucks.
bottle anything.
And that's kind of why maybe I haven't brewed as much lately, is because I have to bottle everything, and that is a huge pain in the ass.
Oh yeah.
It's such an undertaking, too. And every time I've brewed, it always seems like the bottling day ends up being on a fucking Wednesday or something. And I got to do it after work or something stupid. And just, my wife fucking hates it.
Yeah. So what about your setup, Davey? What do you got?
I
Blow our minds. Yeah, blow my mind.
boil some shit up and then I put it in a thingy and it bubbles real fast and then I drink it.
The last time we were talking, you were saying that you converted some big square cooler shit.
Oh yeah, I have a big. It's like I could fit a person in it. A huge
Not that
mash
you would,
tun.
but
No, I mean there's no beer in people that much. But I think I maxed that thing out with 40 pounds grains one time,
Damn.
and I made because I used to use that thing. It's the big huge cooler, and I made a little PVC holy thing as the false bottom, whatever, and I used to do 20 gallons at a time because I got 2 kegs like yours does, and used 2 of those, and I was boiling water in one, sparging with a pitcher because I just it sits up high, sparge into it, and I have a step stool where I walk up and pour and sparge out. And if you alternate, you can make it work, and it'll happen.
Okay.
So you can trade out between the two. You can keep your water level high enough that you can keep them both even as far as sugar level. You know, go to this one first, then fill that up. Go to that one. And so I did that for a while, but then I got to clean this big old cooler, clean all these things.
Right.
And so I've been trying. So I thought, you know, in the old days, a witch or a Viking would just have a pot of grains, and they would boil the shit and scoop out all the grains at the end and just let it sit, and off I'd go. Just do it the simple way. And so I've been trying that out, trying to simplify things.
And how's that working out for you?
Not bad. It makes some interesting beers. Do you want to try
Pretty
one?
simple?
You won't like it, I bet. You're IPA drinkers. You'll hate it.
Well, I don't know.
Then
Maybe.
just try it. I'm ready for a new beer.
Well, son of a bitch, look at this.
Look at this.
We got
Hey,
the all-day drinker joining us
Oh my
today.
goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
How you
goodness.
Doing well.
You know Davey, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike, for joining us.
Yeah.
For all of those who don't know, Mike is our all-day drinker expert that we had on not too long ago.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mike.
Yeah, welcome.
Trying to keep my reputation going.
Already 7 beers deep, but that's cool. When they are PBR or Ranier,
You can
It's
do
all good.
that.
Yeah.
You can do that.
it's fine. All right, so Davey, what do you got for us? We said we would try your beer.
All right.
What do you got for us?
You guys are bold. What
Yes.
I have for you is my effort at minimizing the brewing process, not doing a bunch of dishes, 1 kettle, 2 ingredients, no 3 ingredients, 4 ingredients. I got 2-row, which is highly, what's the diastic power? Has a lot of diastic power. I got wheat, whole wheat, which is in the form of flour, which it matters. You got to have good flour. So
Are we talking kitchen flour here? All-purpose?
I'm talking
Hammer,
whole
or
flour. No, whole wheat flour. It's non. You don't have any of the additives. I don't want any niacin in it and all that shit. Niacin is a nicotine-based compound that they add for what's the word? Nutritional value. They call it enriched flour.
Okay.
So I got 50% 2-row, 50% wheat flour, King Arthur wheat flour, because flour matters.
Okay.
I don't know if you've
King
ever
Arthur.
made noodles with flour or bread, but flour matters. If you have some nasty flour, it doesn't taste good, which you may think it doesn't anyway. But
Right.
and then so I did the same process. It's I was thinking back to how they made it in the old days, and that's throw all your grains in the pot, heat it up, and strain the shit out. And so that's what I did, and this is what it is.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
homegrown hops.
And you have two different growlers here.
Oh, right.
What's with the 2 different growlers?
The different yeasts. So trying
So-
with different yeasts. It's lager yeasts.
So 2 different lager yeasts in 2 different containers,
Right.
but all the other materials
Everything
are
else
the
is
same.
the same.
Okay.
Okay.
So
let's try
and
this
it's
out.
light. So this is 10 pounds of grains, or 5 of 2-row, 5 of wheat of
Okay.
flour, and 10 gallons of water. So that makes about 4. I think this one's 3.5%. This is Elder Jensen beer.
Okay. This is the
Mormon
all-day
beer.
all-day
Elder
drinking.
Jensen.
Yes,
Okay.
this is Mormon beer. So
All right.
this is the and these are both lager yeast. The first time I used it, because I reused my yeast, the first time I used the yeast, it was very sulfury, smelled like eggs and farts.
Nice.
And I think it's because it was underpitched. It wasn't a very strong yeast. So after it was done with fermenting, I pulled it out, saved it, and I've used it 3 times now, and no sulfur at all. And they're all fermenting at 70 degrees. So
Perfect.
lager, 70 degrees.
Okay.
He's like, please don't
give me
a whole thing. Please don't.
Yeah, you don't have to give me a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You know, just
Please
enough
don't
to
give me the
taste.
whole thing.
Just to, you know. put it
Yeah,
on
just
my
have a
tongue
taster.
and-
You can throw it out if you don't like it, because I don't expect you to. Because homebrewing to me is about making something that I like. Doing a process that works for me.
Okay. Well, let's give it a try.
You know, and these two guys, if it's not an IPA,
I know it.
it's
And my wife said cardboard is one of the flavors.
Cardboard.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't
You see
get-
do you see the fruit flavor though?
Yeah. There's some fruit in it.
Yeah.
some fruit in
What kind of hops did you use in that? Any?
No, I did.
Okay.
Not very many. I
I
used
can tell. I can taste it.
Yeah, I didn't want to use very many hops. It's I used a half ounce of Columbus hops, which is high IBU, and then an
Really?
ounce of crystal hops, I think, something like that. But it just basically tastes like fruit, right? And cardboard and nothing. And
I don't know about
clove.
cardboard, but
I don't know
I'm
about
going to
cardboard.
open a Rainier and so I can taste test
Let's
it.
compare to a Rainier.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know. To me, it tastes like a Coors Light, Bud Light, Rainier.
Yeah, that was my
Keystone.
original process when I started this. Is
Any one of those, it tastes.
Because I started with rice. I did ground up some rice and swapped out. That's the Saf Ale or Saf Lager 189.
Okay.
That's their standard lager beer. It's whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It's
What do you think,
light.
Mike?
It needs
Mike?
some salt, is what
Oh.
it kind
Oh,
of needs.
yeah, I
a
can
little
see.
salt.
Salt or,
Yeah.
yeah, flavor of
It
some
needs
sort.
flavor, yeah.
Yeah.
I intentionally made it lack of flavor, but which accentuates all the other flavors that aren't great. But I think it's drinkable.
I would say drinkable.
Personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not great, but
Yeah.
so anyway, as I'm bringing it up through the, I put the flour in and put the malts in, and I'd put it in cold because I don't know if you ever made gravy. You can't put flour in hot water because it clumps up.
Right.
It turns into
Right.
shit. So you got to start out cold, and you start bringing it up to temperature, and so you're going through all those mash steps that you've read about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your acid rest, your some other kind of acid rest that is supposed to give you clove flavor. It's a precursor to clove, and that's like 109 to 113, and the previous acid rest is 100 and whatever to 113, and then you move up, and there's some other rest. I don't know, but basically the last time I did it, just put it on low, bring it up to temperature, start the batch out, and this one was 5 gallons of stuff, and then I sparged all the grains out of a grain bag because I don't want to use the mash tun because I'm lazy. And then I have my hot water at home, so I have my
I hope you have hot water at home.
yeah, I do. That's one of the
I've got
greatest
hot
advancements.
Just got it a couple years ago. God, it's great.
It's so awesome in the toilet after you flush, and it's just steaming up in your face.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah, that's really good. But I have my hoses hooked up to my hot water tank so I can adjust the hot or cold.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
And then it's all just right there in my garage, and I can, turn it on hot when because my water is at like 170, so that's sparge temperature already. So
Yeah.
I'm not fucking around boiling stuff. I just pour the hot water in and I'm done.
Shit, that would cut out a lot of time.
It does cut out a
That
lot
does
of time.
cut out quite a bit of time.
Yep. So
It's pretty smart, actually.
yeah. And then I'm running through a filter in hot water. So hot water through a carbon filter, one of those big.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know how big it is, but yeah, running through that. And I sparge out the grains, which I kind of decided I don't think I need to do that. Just fill the thing up all the way, then bring that 160, 170 temperature up to 180 and just get rid of the grains. They're all gonna intermingle anyway. So skip the sparging, skip all that. Bring it up to a boil. That takes the longest,
Yeah.
and then add your hops.
Well, especially if you're doing like 10 gallons at a time. That's a lot.
All right, let's.
You want to try the next one?
Yeah, let's try the next one.
So I decided I like the 3470, which is also from Safel. A little better. It has more flavor. It's a little more clovey.
Still a lager.
Yeah, it's still a lager. They use it in Weinheim-Stefaner beer. It's the famous Weinheim-Stefaner lager. So this is the yeast that they use.
So I'm drinking.
So do you have to have your
Famous
pinky out while you're drinking it? I mean, that sounds pretty.
It sounds German to me.
yeast. It is German.
So there you go.
Just a little bit.
Just a wee. Just a smidgen.
I got to get back to an IPA.
Yeah, well, this is only 3.5%, boys. You can go to church with this beer.
Oh, good.
But they're all fruity, huh?
Fruity.
Really fruity. And I think a lot of it has to do with the acid rest that I'm going through. So I think my next
Oh, I like that one.
challenge
This
is
one's better.
I'm gonna jump the acid rest and not do any of that and skip right to it and see if I can take the sourness down. It's all that mash step stuff that I'm trying to understand by experience.
I think this one's less
Harsh.
fruity or cardboardy or whatever
Yeah.
your wife was
Think
getting
so?
at there.
It's more taste.
It is more taste.
Yeah.
This one came out first of the primary because I didn't do a secondary. It's a week, keg it, carbonate for 3 days, and it's done.
So how long have you been brewing? You probably already talked about this, but
Absolutely not.
No.
We did not.
we didn't.
That's why you're
Good
here.
question.
I don't know, like probably 9 years, I think, maybe 10.
okay.
Yeah, I think my first batch I did, I brewed in a keg without cutting it open. It was like hops and stuff, and so I threw all the shit in there and boiled it, put some yeast in,
Sealed it up.
put the little screwy thing in that I was telling you about, and
Yeah.
it blew up. And it shot hops all over my ceiling.
But
Nice.
you're in a closed container.
Right. Well, I didn't know. I'm telling you,
You're a pretty smart guy.
failure is the best way to learn.
Or die.
Or die. Learn what not to do, right?
Right. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I was right.
It didn't blow up. I was trying to release the pressure and it went.
So it acted as a pressure cooker.
Essentially, yeah.
It's self-carbonated. I've heard of people doing that. You can, in your primary,
yeah,
you can
yeah, you
self-carbonate.
Can.
Pressurize.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can't really see the clarity, but this one is way more clear than this one. And that's just a function of the yeast. So,
More flocculation. Potentially.
yeah, I don't, that
Flock
means
it.
block it. Yeah. So,
All right.
anyway.
Very
so,
good.
Yeah.
So you can taste the difference in the yeast. It's
And you
slightly
said you're
different.
growing your own hop?
Yeah, I'm growing hops. I have them all over my house. My wife hates it. I actually harvested this year. Last year, she cut them all down before I could get a chance. Because you got to get it before it freezes. So then it goes pretty bad. But yeah, you have to harvest them and you have to dry them. That's important because otherwise it's a pile of wet grass. Then it smells like a pile of wet grass after 3 days.
Okay.
So you have to dry it pretty quick.
So he's the one that got me growing my own hops in my old house.
Okay.
So those people that moved into my old house are probably like, "What the fuck is this?
get rid
weed?
of this
thing. It keeps coming back."
Oh, they're invasive.
Oh,
They're bad.
I had it growing pretty good. It was.
I bet you did.
All the way up to the top of the roof,
Yeah.
and then some.
Yeah.
And it would cut the shit out of me
Oh,
when
yeah.
I get too close to it.
Look, I got one right by our front door, and it'll reach out and cut your face as you're walking in the house. It's like,
Sounds like a nice, safe place.
yeah,
Let's go to Davey's with our kids and
yeah, exactly.
play in the
Don't run too
bushes.
fast.
Right.
I would drink that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
That's
It's okay.
I like that.
Thank you. Look at all day drinker.
All day drinking.
Yeah, 3.5%. See, I'd see that on the can and just set it down.
Right.
You would,
It's
but,
like, no, that's not enough.
but you can wake up and start drinking beer all day long. And
Okay, so now we kind of took a huge detour right there, but we're all coming back around. We want to talk a little bit about the process. And we're not going to spend too much time on it, but there's really 3 different processes that you can go through to brew beer. One is the brew in the bag system, which is exactly what it sounds like. You throw everything in a bag, you boil it and shit, and there it is. The other one is the extract, where you take powders and syrups and use that
Never
as
done it.
instead of the malt.
never done it.
And then there's the all grain, which I don't know, a lot of home brewers are all grain that I know.
That's all I've ever done.
Right. Unless you're Davey, and then you stray from the grain and you start doing
Corn.
rice and corn
I've
and
done
wheat-
rice.
wheat flour.
Wheat,
carrots
flour.
and
Carrots. You can do carrots.
Sugar beets.
Sugar beets.
yeah, that is
Peas.
for a whole different.
Peas?
Yeah, the Pilgrims did peas. No, not Pilgrims. Who are the people that came over on the Mayflower? They're not Pilgrims.
Yeah,
They are.
pilgrims.
Really?
Yeah.
Pilgrims. and
Pioneers. I thought I was saying
I don't know.
pioneers. Okay.
Pioneers were the Mormons you were referring to.
Oh, right. They don't
earlier
drink beer.
That are okay to drink the 4 point.
They can drink the 3.
3.4.
They can drink my 3.5 beer. Totally legit.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. Yeah, we will go into all of that kind of stuff that all the different ingredients that you can use to brew the beer in a whole different episode. Whole different. I know we want to talk about some of the crazy shit that you have tried. I mean, you're like a scientist. But whole different episode.
I will
Okay.
refrain.
All right. Awesome.
All right. So this is going to be a little quiz for you, Davey, since you're the extraordinaire. You
I
ready?
didn't bring my notes.
Okay, all right. You're good. You got it up here in
right.
the brain. So we're going to talk about all grain. So when you have too much grain, what does that kind of affect?
Too much grain. Too much grain is just too much sugar, and you're gonna have high alcohol content.
Yep. Okay.
Alcohol content. Am I started already?
Davey is
God.
going off the rails. That 3.4 really
It's
hit
really
him hard.
After it.
You know,
I'm
if-
getting 3 point forked up.
maybe it's not 3.4 after all. Maybe you should have had that second reading and it would have told you it's like
Right.
8.9.
Yeah, it went to negative. It went to negative. Jesus Christ. So what am I at? What's the question?
Yeah.
again?
So the next one would be too much. So if you got too much grain, you get the what really happens when you get too much grain?
Too much alcohol.
Too high, right?
Yeah, your ABV gets too high.
Yep.
Your sugar gets too high. Then your yeast starts doing funny stuff. It starts putting off some stank.
Yeah. You can
Especially if you don't keep it cold. If you can keep
Yeah.
it cool and you got a high ABV, a high sugar, a high what's the reading?
gravity.
Specific gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you have a high specific gravity. You can keep it cool and let the yeast do its thing over a long period of time. It doesn't get nasty, but if you burning it hot, it gets gross.
I burn it hot every weekend night.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, disco stew.
Speaking of that, so then if, on the opposite side, if you got too little amount of grain,
There it is. You tried it.
the low. Yeah.
Yeah, there you have it.
All right. And then what about temperature? Like if you get too hot,
Same thing. Yeah, burn it hot, then you get some stink.
Yeah, what flavor comes out when you get it too hot? I've done
Banana,
it before. Oh, banana.
banana, clovey, all those phenols and esters get really big and it gets pretty stinky. Yeah,
Under
it's
process.
working hard. So
yeah.
so yeah, it puts off some stink.
All right.
some banana.
It's like when you work out, you know, you sweat a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
it's exactly like that.
I don't stink.
Whatever.
I don't work out.
Exactly. I only
He just
stink.
does his 12-ounce curls.
I
That's
only
fine.
stink when I shit. And then I flush it. It's really short.
Yeah. Short time to use.
What about pH? Do you do anything with the pH on the water to test or anything like that?
No, I did for a little bit because I thought, like my first couple batches, I thought because it was really tannic, bitter. I was like, something's wrong with my pH because I
Yeah.
read about stripping of tannins off of the husks. So I thought, there's a problem, and so I started trying to brew with like just adding lime, and I did some pH testing, trying to keep my acidity up so that it didn't get too basic and strip off all the husk and cause the tannin issue.
Do you ever use like any additives to your water?
No, I gave up on that. That was the initial brewing thing, and then I stopped. I was like, that wasn't the problem.
It's all just witchcraft.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the problem.
I was going to say the Worldflock tablets, but that was that.
No,
That's
That's a different issue.
That's different.
Yeah, you can add acidity to it, or you can do it acid step mash. I think that's helped actually. Maybe, I don't know.
Well,
It's hard to
it
say.
wasn't bad.
It
So
wasn't terrible.
I'm not sure.
Thank you for saying not bad.
No, I mean it's drinkable. It's drinkable.
There you go.
I mean,
Exactly. That's all I'm looking for.
That's the outcome you want to achieve, right?
And then you tweak a little here and there, and
I mean, I would request more hops, but that's just me. I'm a big hop guy.
yeah,
So,
yep.
but yeah.
But anyway, we're talking about pH.
pH. Yep.
So I initially was not filtering the water. So there's chlorine in our water, right? So I think chlorine brings the pH up. No, down. Down is acidic. Isn't down acidic
No,
and
but
up is basic?
Down is basic.
Down is basic. Yeah.
I think you're wrong. I'm not sure. I think a low pH is acidic and a high pH is basic.
I'd have to go get my
Yeah, me neither. I don't know.
pool
pool
strip
tester.
tabs.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know.
You might be right.
I don't know either.
I'm not an
I know
expert.
7 is neutral.
7 is neutral, right? Anyway,
Other than that, I'm
so I gave up after a while, and I was like, well, it doesn't really matter. There was something else going on. I overboiled my hops or something, and got too much bitterness out of it.
Right. Yeah, because I know when we interviewed Idlewild, he was geeked out
Yeah, he
on
was-
the pH and
yeah, he
all
was
that
big into
stuff.
the pH.
Yeah, so he tested every time. And
yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, interesting.
Yeah, but again, like I say, people have been doing this for thousands of years. Thousands.
Quite a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just make the shit, and it turns out good or it doesn't. Short of all the science.
Right.
Yeah, I guess you can go both ways, right? Like Idlewild, he's like totally to the book and, follows the steps. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and I'm just hucking shit in the barrel
Right.
and boil it up and
Let it go.
Let's cross our fingers and hope it turns out.
yeah,
Yeah.
see what it does. And if it
Man.
does good, then you just keep doing that.
Right.
I wish your listeners could see Davey as he's describing how he does this. I think it
Wow.
really help you understand how to make beer.
There's a lot of flailing hands and a lot.
Yeah. We're
The
trying
sound
to
effects
use
are
our
still
words
there.
enough to describe Davey's
Davey don't
flailing
like
hands,
words.
but it just doesn't do it
Yeah,
justice.
no, it
For sure.
doesn't. I mean,
No.
sitting here watching it, I think I could go brew my own beer now.
You could.
Yeah.
Just
Probably.
make a pile of goulash and then strain out the shit, and you have beer.
I got the equipment.
I'll just go to the store.
Sometimes that's
Right.
easier.
If you
Sometimes
value
easier.
your time, just go to the store.
Yeah.
But really, when I brew the beer, I tend to drink way too much, which is part of the fun of brewing the beer.
Sure. And have you ever bought a beer that tastes like my shitty beer?
I wouldn't
Have
say
you ever
shitty.
Have you ever tasted anything like that?
No.
Well,
No,
back when I
never.
was before my dad had a job, we used to drink some shitty beer, and it probably tasted like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a jackfruit
like a
bomb,
Keystone.
like Keystone. That's what I'm going for. I drink a lot of
man.
Keystone.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's talk just a little bit about the grains and what the grains actually do as far as brewing your beer. There's thousands of different grains out there, and we know that we've been talking about two row. 2-row seems to be like the base.
The base.
The base. That's my
2-row
base. Yeah.
Pilsen malt. Those
6-row. Vienna. Vienna's really
yeah.
sweet.
Those seem to be the base for
Yeah.
just about everybody's beer.
Anything you go to the homebrew stuff and it's in the grain bag,
Yes.
then that's a base malt.
Yes. So let's talk about like your flour or say oatmeal.
Yeah, oatmeal. I made an oatmeal
Flavor.
beer. Yeah.
Yeah. What does that do?
Oatmeal beer. Oatmeal beer. Oatmeal beer. It has a huge body and foam, lots of foam, and it. What do you call that? Fullness of mouth. Throw up. No, that's not what it is.
But you get the
You get a
full mouth,
body, full mouthfeel.
The mouthfeel.
Yeah, and so you've made oatmeal and it's like snot, right? It's mucogelatinous. It translates into the beer.
None of the oatmeal that I make looks like snot, but
Really?
maybe you're eating a different kind of oatmeal.
Really?
Maybe he's got different kinds of boogers.
One of the two. Okay, I think we narrowed it down.
Yeah.
When you're home brewing, you really tend to brew beers that you like,
Right.
which I've done every time except for one
Except for I
time.
don't like them most of the time. And that's when the still comes into play. It's like that beer sucks.
All right, Dave.
Okay, start
What
over.
do you do? What do you do with the still?
What?
What do you do with the still? Tell us.
You destroy
We're all
beers.
waiting.
You destroy beers that you don't like.
Okay, and how do you destroy them?
Destroy them. You strip them down to the only thing that's worthwhile,
Okay, which is?
which is alcohol.
Look, oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, what do you do with that alcohol? Clean your lawnmower. You don't drink it.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's one of the things I'm still working on is I want to make a nice, clean, neutral alcohol, but haven't got there yet.
So when you don't brew a good batch, you make it alcohol.
Yep. So I have a 10-gallon barrel, and I had a sour beer in it, and it was sitting for 2 years because it was nasty. One of my biggest problems with brewing is acetone. So I get an acetone scum on the top, and it's like a flaky, white, powdery, but it eventually ends up smelling like fingernail polish. And so this bacteria makes acetone, and it's gross, and then it's time to chuck it into the still. And then you have to strip out all the acetone, and you have to strip out all the sourness, because the sourness comes off with the alcohol. And so you got to add baking soda or cook baking soda to become not sodium bicarbonate, but sodium carbonate, which is more caustic than basic baking soda, but not much. Anyway, add it to it, strips out the acid, balances it, redistill. I haven't redistilled yet, so I'm right there. I have a bucket of nasty shit sitting that I need to redistill.
And is this process, is it worth it?
No, it just wastes gas.
Okay.
It's just wasting more gas.
Okay. Sounds awesome.
I'm not gonna drink that shit.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah, it's just wasting propane
That's too bad.
so far. But wait, I can keep it. I can keep retrying.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of your failures have led you to some of your best successes.
Yeah, exactly. You can't learn without failing,
Sure.
for sure. Yeah, you know what not to do. And from there, you bounced around like a gutter bowling alley, and boop, there you go. Strike.
Have you had a strike?
No.
Still waiting for that strike.
Still waiting. I had a couple pins down, but
I think I had a turkey one time, and no.
did you?
Oh, yeah,
You had 3 in a row?
Oh, I had
I
some good ones.
Really?
I used to bowl quite a bit. And,
No, are you talking? Are we still talking about the analogy?
I'm still talking about the analogy.
Oh, okay.
Tom's going to talk about bowling.
I mean, my highest game's been 289. You know. And,
Oh shit! I don't know what that.
Yeah. It's a lot of
I don't
strikes.
That's
bowl
good
enough
for a
to
bowl.
know.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
strikes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Huh?
Anyways,
It's good for a brewer, too. I mean,
Yeah, 289
yeah.
IBU.
It's got to be good. That's big.
yeah.
That's a big one. So usually when I brew, it takes me a minimum of 4 hours.
Minimum.
Tom. You?
Yeah, 4 hours is probably right. I mean, it's hard because if you talk about like the bottling process, though, if you
Well,
add
yeah,
that
that's
in,
not. No.
you're just
Initial.
talking about just straight
This is
initial
just
brew.
Cooking it, cooling it,
Brew.
and putting it in
Sure.
the closet to ferment. I guess
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
would say. I put all my shit in there because
Sure.
it's usually a good even temperature. in there.
Yeah, I have my office closet. That is the alcohol closet. All my
Okay.
shit's in there.
I never did that.
The wife has
Well, I
the
did that once.
wine
Okay.
rack, and it's one of those under the stair things.
Yeah,
Wine rack
right.
and this,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's always at 69 degrees.
69.
I know that goes on in there, except for
Yeah.
the degree. It's too bad.
Yeah, I had one brew in the closet, and that was a disaster.
It was.
What's that?
It exploded everywhere.
Oh, did you have a frothy quart pump and
Oh.
it plugged up your dinger and the takangi?
Blew the bone.
Blew the bung right out of
Did
the
it
house.
shoot up all the? It
Oh, yeah.
blasted your whole closet. Huh?
Ruined one of my wife's coats too.
Yeah,
That was not good.
Yeah, you're like, I thought we were 6 to 9 and
Nope. Apparently not.
you were cool with this.
So let's talk about cost real quick. I think the last homebrew I did was probably $80, but that probably included a 4-pack that I picked up while I was there. So
And how many gallons was it?
it was 5 gallons. What about you, Tom? Do you remember the last time?
Yeah, the last
How
time
much you spent?
Yeah, I think it was like $90.
Okay. Davey, what do we got?
$10.
Damn.
10
See,
bucks.
this all comes down
And
to
I-
He's growing his own hop.
But
well, right.
He's using
But how
his
much-
wife's wheat.
Flour.
Flour.
how is it only $10? You're using how much?
Okay, that doesn't include propane. So
But what I'm saying is like on your 2-row though, if you're using 2-row, how much 2-row are you using?
5 pounds.
Just 5 pounds? That's it?
5 pounds of 2-row, and that'll convert all my 5 pounds of flour.
Holy shit!
And because it'll do that if you bring it up through the mashing steps,
Yeah.
like this.
Okay.
See what the people can't see.
Right.
Well,
Fancy fingers.
I'm trying to remember the last one I did. I think I used at least 10 pounds.
Yeah, well, I'm making 5%. No, I'm making 3.5 to 4%.
That's true. There's a difference there, yeah.
So that's 10 gallons of beer for
But I
$10.
And I think the last one I did was I was trying to go for 7%.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I came up with 6.5%, and I used 13 pounds of shit.
Mm-hmm.
6.5, 13 pounds on
13
5 gallons.
13 pounds, and then a shit ton of hops.
Yeah, hops are expensive.
At least a pound of hops.
Shit.
A little less than that.
That was the most expensive part of
$2.50
it.
an ounce,
Right.
right?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, for the cheap hops. You get
Yeah.
into Citra, it's like
Yeah, I think the
Which would
last
be
one I
awesome.
did was, I think I used about a pound of hops
Yeah.
through the whole process.
a lot.
I did
Yeah.
I did a lot of
Yeah.
secondary
Right.
hop additions and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
hopping.
Oh, dry hopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hops.
Well, I wanted
Pound,
a-
16 ounces at $2 a pound.
Yeah.
$2.50. Really, that's cheap. $3. No, $60 a hops.
Well, that's why these good beers cost so much.
Yeah.
Just all the hops that they use in it.
Yeah.
That's why Mike's Ronier is, like, what is that, like 75 cents a can?
$16.99 a case.
Well,
I'll be honest. Sometimes those hoppy beers, it's like they're just bombarding you with flavor. It's like someone just needs to step back a little bit and just kind of part the cloud a little bit. And here's this hop.
Look, I am balls deep in that cloud.
Yeah.
I love that cloud.
I just sucked that whole cloud up.
You know what?
Give me the flavor.
I was gonna say the one thing that I really want from a brewery is a low alcohol percent, like a 4.5%, 5%. But I want like a big punch of flavor.
That is all day IPA.
No,
My friend.
Nah, it's been a little bit.
That's pretty good.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good.
That's a session. He's
It's a
more
session.
of a.
Well, no, I would love a session.
Yeah, session would be
But
good.
the closest I found is the Hubert by Melvin.
Yep.
Theirs is a 6%, but it has as much hop flavor as a regular IPA. And if they could,
Are you telling me a regular IPA is like 9%?
No.
regular IPA is 7.
7,
Oh, okay.
7.5.
So it's a pale ale, but it's got the taste of a regular.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
your normal pale ale is only going to be like 5, 5.5
Yeah.
tops.
It goes up to 6.
Not all of them though. There's not very many 6% pale ales. No, Mark, come on.
Oh,
Come on.
I don't know.
It's true.
This is what,
It's true. Like there's not very many 6% pale ales out there.
that's just a name. It's 6% and the flavor you like.
right. Everybody,
All the stuff you like.
Yeah.
everybody calls shit different.
Yeah.
I mean, some people call double IPAs or imperials. Sometimes they call it 7.5 an imperial.
Yeah.
I've seen that before.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not imperial. Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just all subjective. But anyways, getting off topic here.
It's okay.
Where were we? I have no idea.
We're
Oh yeah, the cost. The
Cost.
Oh yeah.
All right. Now, so I am making beer for $1 a gallon.
Yeah, you are really making it worth
My while.
homebrew. Yeah.
Well, and then I've got gas on top of that, and then my time.
gas,
propane.
propane,
Yeah,
Yeah.
propane. Yeah.
Yeah.
which not that much. I
Well,
imagine you can get like
So I'm burning for
3 batches.
3. No, I'm talking hours per batch. So if I'm burning propane for
Yeah.
2 hours of 10 gallons.
You boil for 2 hours.
No, I mean it takes that long to. Oh, that's
get
not
it up?
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Hour and a half maybe.
Well, you got a better burner than me.
If
And
you-
you're
if you
only
do it
using.
slow, it depends on how
and,
slow
and
you
you're
bring it
doing
up.
5 gallons.
Right.
So
Right. You're doing more.
I'm doing 10.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
So propane's a cost factor, but you're right. It's not much.
It's minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never count that in my cost. Propane.
No.
Then it's not a true cost.
Well, you guys should be considering that.
Yeah.
I don't know how you
But,
calculate
hey,
that though.
you know what? When I go to the store to buy mine, I have to pay for the gas to get there, and I don't take that into consideration.
Right.
You
There you
do.
go.
Right.
So
So, and I think I'm winning the standard all-day beer drinker in cost. What's a 12-pack? No, you don't do it by 12-pack. What's a 16-ounce 16-pack of Keystone? That's what I drink.
Nobody
You know,
drinks that.
I don't know.
$17, 16
Even,
bucks.
even the all-day drinker is classier.
Yeah.
What?
I'm more of a PBR and
PBR.
Oh,
yeah.
my brother was a PBR guy for forever,
yeah.
and he
Yeah.
finally was like, it's too sweet. I'm going Keystone.
PBR is too sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, it is sweet.
They won a blue ribbon.
Like an 1893 or something
Right,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Back before refrigeration. Oh, this tastes pretty good
It still does.
for a meat pile.
Oh my god.
No, I'm kidding. I like PBR too. I like all beer. I don't think there's a beer I don't like besides
No.
Christmas beer.
He's given me some that I'm like, oh.
And he's like, and he says,
that.
"Oh, that's classy. Why aren't you classy?"
It was probably Davey's beer that I gave you. There's a couple of those in there.
Turn your face in outside out. Why don't you like that?
Yeah. So, Davey, tell us, what is your best brew? What was the best one you ever did, in your opinion?
Probably a wheat beer. I can do a wheat beer pretty good. Not this one. This one's different. This is a wheat lager,
That's kind of a flowery auger.
flour auger. Yeah.
Flower lager.
Yeah. I've done some pretty good yeast. No, wheat beers with the Bavarian yeast. I like to explore the yeasts more than the hops. You guys are hop guys.
Yeah.
I'm a yeast guy.
Okay.
So those produce a lot of different flavors for
do.
me. You get Bavarian yeast.
Yeah.
And you can, if you're doing a high alcohol percent beer, it's gross. It's like the triple pie.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's fucking gnarly.
All right, so we've been doing a lot of talking about everything right now. But let's talk about some of the equipment that we really wanted to brew with, but never did. Like me, I've been brewing out of buckets and bullshit for years. I think it'd be cool to have some of that stainless steel conical fermenter
conical.
shit. Wouldn't that be cool?
Mm-hmm.
But
That's big bucks.
That is big bucks for me. I can't.
Pumpers, temperature control, all that
Right?
stuff.
Oh yeah.
All electric system.
Right. Is that?
I mean,
That's what you want?
It would be cool. Yeah.
It would be super awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Davey?
It sounds like a lot of work and a big investment.
It is.
It is a big investment. I don't know about the
Yeah.
work part, but
I like just getting by with what I got. I mean, it'd be cool. Don't get me wrong, but whatever. I'm kind of a whatever brewer. If what you're making's good enough, then it's good enough.
But is there any equipment that you would want to have?
what was the last piece of equipment you bought recently?
Oh, the one that was good was the refractometer. Actually, instead of
What is a refractometer?
it's a looking
I'm
glass.
surprised you can
thing.
announce that right now.
Yeah, me too. After all these 3.5% beers, fuck,
Right.
I'm like starting to enunciate very well.
Helps you enunciate better.
my enunciation is extraordinary.
Remember?
Actually, you're starting to sound like that German beer.
Yeah, right. Wine has the phenomenon. Right.
Exactly.
No, so the cool thing about, I finally got a refractometer, and the reason I got it is because someone told me that you can read your direct alcohol content from it, which is a lie. You can't. It tells you sugar content, bricks, and specific gravity. And so you put a little drop of your wort on the lens, and you close it up, and you look into the light, and it'll tell you what it has a little blue beam, so it works off refraction. And so little blue beam hits the screen that has all the gradations. And the cool part about it is that you don't have to wait for your wort to cool down. You can just put it on there because you only have a small drop. Put it on the lens, and you can look through it and see where it's at. So as you're running your mash, you can watch as your conversion is happening. You're converting from starch to sugar, so you can see that sugar content rising in your mash.
And
It's
please
very handy.
let us know what the sugar content does.
Oh, alcohol. Direct relation. Unless you have the higher conversion alcohols at 160, right? Isn't there non-fermentable sugars at 160 that you're producing? Come on, guys.
Yeah, I think.
Don't leave me hanging here.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's
remember
non-fermentable
that.
sugars. So if you want a non-dry beer, you go hit 160, and you're producing a lot of non-fermentable sugars, and so the yeast doesn't actually attack those, and you make a really heavy sugary beer like all the IPAs you guys like.
What are you talking about? 160.
160 degrees.
Degrees, the temperature. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
When
go.
does this temperature take place?
What?
When does the temperature
Oh,
take place?
on your mash.
Oh. well.
Yeah, you don't know.
Oh,
Sorry.
shit, yeah. Sorry. I'm catching up.
I'm talking in a vacuum here.
I would think I would know what you're talking about, but then all of a sudden you're talking 160. So
Right.
it's 160 out. The only time I have 160 is in the mash. But you're
Right.
talking about.
But usually you can hit 149, and if you want a really dry beer, you go hit 149, and you get all your fermentable sugars. It'll convert all your starches into fermentable sugars.
Yep.
All the amylase, alpha amylase, beta amylase.
Mhm.
So your alpha amylase is, I can't remember which is which, but one of them produces all fermentable sugars. One of them produces some fermentable, some non-fermentable. So if you want a sugary beer, you go high. You go 160.
Davey is making this all up right now as he goes.
Right. So
Hey, I believe him.
No, I do. Yeah,
just
it's all
roll with
good.
it.
It's
Just
good.
roll with
It's
it.
good,
You
yeah.
can look it up later.
So on your refractometer, does it have like a little guideline that kind of says like if your blue light's up here or whatever on your reading, this is kind of like the sugar content, so that you know like where you want to stop? I've never used one.
It's
so.
gradation. It's just like a hydrometer, right? So your hydrometer has bricks and it has
Yep.
specific gravity, and it just has that, and it's on a smaller scale. And when you look through the thing, you look at a light, it's a large enough scale, and it's kind of hard to read, but it's like a telescope. So you adjust the lenses on it, and then you can finally see the.
This seems like a very complicated
gradation.
tool.
It's not complicated.
It sounds
actually.
complicated.
It sounds like
Super
complicated
easy.
to read.
It sounds like I'm not getting anything out of it.
Right.
Like a hydrometer is
Okay,
going to
Hydrometer, you put it in. You're
Yep.
Okay, here's your problem.
Where's the stop?
The worst thing about a hydrometer is getting the bubbles away so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
read the number.
No. The worst thing about a hydrometer is getting the temperature down to 60 degrees, because that's what the hydrometer is based off of. Is it 70?
Might say
Seven.
It's 70
yeah,
degrees. So it's based off 70 degrees. So you got to you either got to do a calculation based off temperature and shit.
Just wait till 70 degrees.
What?
Just wait till 70 degrees.
Well,
and
you
then
don't
you'll
have to
go.
wait for the refractometer.
Oh,
You just
oh.
put a little drip on, and you know it's going to come to room temperature quickly, and then there it is. So you get an instant reading. There's the benefit.
But you still got to cool down your wort anyways, so it doesn't matter. So
But do you want to monitor your what is the thing called when the starch turns to sugar? Conversion. Do you want to
The conversion.
monitor your conversion, or do you just want to see the final gravity or initial gravity rather?
I mean,
I want to monitor my conversion so I can watch and see.
so you're saying
Boom, boom, boom.
So
Here it
if I-
goes. It's coming up and it's done. Because
So
I know.
if I understand what you're saying is that if you monitor it with the refractometer, then maybe you don't have to boil it as long to get the end result.
Nope. What I'm saying is,
Oh wow!
nope.
Right.
What I'm saying What I'm saying is, while you're doing your mash, you can take a reading of where your sugar level is at. Rather than, you can do that with a hydrometer, but you've got to cool it down and wait, or you have to do a calculation.
So
And
you're
read
talking
the
about
temperature.
mash. That's that.
Yeah, it's
Super
only
early
for
in the
mash.
process.
It's only for mash. So you can watch as
This is
the
So hydrometers at the very end,
yeah.
refractometers in the mash.
In the mash.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
so when it's in the mash, you still have time to bring it up or bring it down.
Yes.
Whatever you need to do.
Yep. So you're watching your sugar level while it's mashing.
That makes sense. I get it now. Yeah.
There we go.
So you're watching your sugar
It's
level.
like you saw the light.
I did.
We
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
We
Saw
looked
the
into the
light.
light.
Looked into
Yeah,
the
you
light
looked into that
and
little
got
blue
it.
light. Yeah, there it is.
got it.
Refractometer light.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So watch actually your sugar content progress as the conversion from starch to sugar happens. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Very
and
good.
then you can watch it as it changes quickly instead of waiting for it to cool or doing some sort of mathematical temperature reading based thing. And you can just watch it and be like, oh, okay, there, it finally hit.
All right, that's another
Okay.
item I got to add to my want list for equipment, I guess.
Yeah, and that'll reduce your time too, because you'll know with all
Yeah.
these grains, I'm gonna be
Right.
at a 7% beer, and so I'm doing my mash well, you're going to sparge too, but you know your mash is supposed to be at 13 or whatever the hell,
Yeah, whatever the hell.
whatever the hell it's supposed to be at,
Yeah.
and read it and be like, okay, I'm there.
Yep.
And that's
Yeah.
all experience based stuff.
Yep.
All right. Interesting.
Refractometer. Refractometer.
Yeah.
Refractometer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, I can't wait to tell my wife I need a refractometer.
It's 40
She's
bucks.
gonna love it.
Yeah.
40 bucks
bucks.
at Homebrew stuff.
Damn.
Hey, while you're there picking one up, would you grab me some beer?
The guys who know what they're doing, can you just
I can
trust their?
pick up your shitty
Status.
beer all day long. I got $3. I can get you a case.
Nice.
It used to be. It's getting
It still
expensive
is.
now. No, it's not.
No.
I used to
Your
get a
Keystone.
30 pack of Keystone for like $14, and now it's like 21.
You know, you have people talk about how inflation has affected the groceries. Let's talk about how inflation is. That's a whole nother podcast.
How it's fucked up the.
it's
That's
crazy.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need, yeah.
I mean, some of the good beers are $7 a can.
I won't do that.
Not ever. Not even just to experiment. Be like, hey, this looks good. I'm gonna try this one.
I've never had a beer that has really blown my mind so much that I'm like, oh, it's just heavenly.
Has he tried
amazing.
Great Notion?
I don't think so.
Is what?
Great Notion.
What do you guys have that you think is gonna blow my
I
mind?
don't have any Great Notion with me. I ran out.
I didn't bring any.
drank it all last weekend. Tom
yeah?
didn't bring any because he didn't want to share.
Is it
Which I
surreal?
totally get.
It is really good, but I
But-
couldn't bring myself to spend the $7.
but
It's not $7
Well,
a can though.
The thing is, if you like the hazies,
I do like hazies, yep.
then yes, you need to spend money on
all right.
at least once or
I'll try
twice.
it once.
You got to get the right one too, though.
Right.
Sure.
You can't just get anyone.
Meaning, it's got to
Well,
be
they got some blueberry
ripe in
stuff.
season. Blueberry stuff?
Which is a
That's a
it's
tart.
not a cider.
Tart ale. I think.
Tart. Okay, tart ale. I mean, that's totally different than what we're talking about. We
They've got some good stuff.
We did the overripe, which we made a special trip to Portland just for the overripe.
We drove Portland there and back in one day.
No kidding.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, wait, tell me the
'Cause my-
brewery one
my
more
wife
time.
loves
Great
it.
Notion.
Great
Great
Notion.
Notion.
We
Okay.
finally just got it here in Boise.
Notion.
Yeah.
Not nation. Notion.
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 Yeah,
All right.
just got it here in Boise. So there's a few more available than what was available before.
Did you ask them? Did you when you went in? Did you
Oh,
say
yeah, we
what
did.
makes your beer so awesome?
We didn't talk to a brewer. No, we weren't lucky enough to talk to a brewer.
We talked to some people who said, "Hey, this
This
give
was
us the tour,
before
give
they
us
were
the shit."
famous.
We wanted
Oh,
to do
yeah.
the. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you mean these
Now they
guys
wa-
or
yeah.
Great Nation?
No,
Notion.
empty cans. You know,
Oh,
now
empty
they
cans.
walk in there and go, empty cans. Let me show you
Oh
this.
shit!
Yeah.
Let me
Mark,
Maybe like-
tell
let
me.
me just
Yeah.
lather
Follow
you
me.
with stickers and
Good to
shit.
go.
Yeah.
I got tons of stickers. You want a Great Notion
want
sticker?
stickers?
I got tons of stickers at home too. I
It's,
got,
it's what happens when you spend $300+
Okay.
But now you can get it in town.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Man,
A little bit
On
cheaper,
tap
but
every now and then.
yeah.
I never had a single Great Notion beer.
Yeah. It's really good.
You
Yeah.
haven't lived.
Very cool.
yeah.
I'm excited to
See,
live.
even Mike is saying that.
Even the daily
Even
drinker.
the- Ranier.
That's
Oh,
Yeah, he's saying that.
My wife is not happy with these guys. They've changed the way that I
oh,
drink.
your palate is all fucked up.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's my beer budget.
Yeah, I know. I know.
That's what's really hurting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. All right.
What are you guys drinking right now?
I just finished this head full of dynamite.
And you?
And I am drinking a local beer because I want to support local. I'm drinking a
do
Mother
too.
Earth Static Profile.
Nice.
We went
good
there
beer.
when it very first dropped, and I do believe that was the precursor to the Empty Cans After Dark episode
It was.
that may or may not be posted.
Right.
Stay tuned. But I really do like the Mother Earth stuff.
Yeah, Mother Earth,
It's really
honestly, is. I hate to say it because they're really an out of towner, but they make damn good beer.
good. But they're in town. They're local.
they are in town, but
Nampa, and they're in town now.
They are.
Let's just say they are locals now.
Yeah, they're using our water, I assume. They're not shipping water
Right.
from
Right.
California
Not from
to
California.
make
Right.
the beer that
Right.
we're tasting.
Right.
But they're doing all the right things to it. that
They
make it
are.
good.
They really are.
I'll bet you what is it the meter that he uses,
Refractometer.
the refractometer.
Yeah.
I'll bet you Mother Earth has one.
I bet you they do.
I bet they got several.
I bet they every day.
All right, Davey, do you have any like really memorable batches? Anything you want to tell the audience?
I've made some really bad beers in the past because I've made beer out of pretty much everything that you can think of. I made a bean. What's the standard bean?
Pinto.
Pinto bean. Yes, I've made a pinto bean beer.
Really?
Which was pretty interesting texturally. There was a textural interesting thing going on there.
Sounds horrible.
It's not as bad as you would think.
Okay.
But and then I made a sugar beet beer. That was the most horrible. That's probably the most memorable
So
beer.
if we
Their
were
story
talking,
though with the sugar beets.
well, yes. Do we want to get into the sugar beet story?
something
Oh,
like
sure.
something like grabbing some sugar beets off the side
Oh yeah,
of the road.
we were working next to a guy who was harvesting, and I approached him and said, "Hey man, I want to make some beer out of sugar beets. I've never heard of anybody doing that before." And he said, "Yeah, go for it. Here you go. Come. Here you go. Grab a bunch." And sugar beets are dense as fuck. Holy cow! They're heavy.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Huge.
Yeah. So I got a big old box of sugar beets, and I ground them all up into shredded them, and made a beer out of them, and it was awful.
What did it taste
Because
like?
it tastes like metal. Sugar beets taste like, how beets taste? How they taste like beets? Like metal? Metal?
I like beets.
Do you?
Yeah.
You really like this beer.
Do you still have the beer?
No.
Ah, that's too bad.
I think I distilled it.
Okay.
Okay.
But you know the specific flavor of beets. It's like
Yeah.
a metallic. It's a metallic
I think
flavor.
it's more earthy.
Earthy.
But,
yeah. So it's earthy, and that's exactly what the beer tastes like. It was. I couldn't get that out of there, and I think you would think people would make vodka out of sugar beets, but they don't do it until the full process has happened of turning sugar beets into sugar. So you have to ditch all that,
yeah.
that residual earthiness, because it'll never go away. And peanut butter is another. Peanut butter is a flavor. No, I haven't made beer out of peanut butter.
I
But
was gonna say, whoa.
I've had some peanut butter beers that
Oh,
have
yeah.
been pretty
Well,
good.
Me too.
peanut butter stout.
But you have the sugar beet factory. I don't know if you've
Yep.
been in it.
If you've ever smelt it.
We all
And
know.
it comes in, and you think peanut butter.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Everybody.
you get that a little bit.
Interesting.
What about you, Tom? Memorable batches. What do you got?
Well, I got memorable bad. I got memorable good, I guess. So I would also say there's a combination one as well. Probably one of my best batches where I drank too much. I got in trouble with my wife.
Sure.
So that was the bad memorable, but it was the best batch I've ever done. So that was just a hazy IPA that I tried.
Okay.
Yep.
How do you make a hazy IPA hazy?
So that is
Milk
a lot of your
sugars?
flaked oats.
Wheat?
It's just
Flaked wheat.
or flaked wheat. Yeah, you could do that. You could add some lactose to it as well.
Yeah, lactose is what everyone sees.
You
in
could,
that. And a milk stout, that kind of shit. There's always some milk sugar that.
but it's also the yeast you use too. You have to have like a
Right.
high flocculation yeast to make that.
Or is it
hazy.
low flocculation?
It's high.
I thought flocculation means it comes out.
I'm pretty sure it's the other way around.
Okay, maybe.
Flock it.
Who cares?
I
Technical terms. I know what you mean.
I think-
you mean
yes.
you need a yeast that is hazy.
Yes,
Right.
And that
exactly.
matters. I wish we would have had clear glasses because you would have seen
right.
one is and one isn't.
Right. So the one hazy recipe that I did, I used the London ale
yeast. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the yeast that I used.
Yep.
I like yeasts. I think
have nothing.
yeast are very interesting.
Yeah, they all kind of just give off a different flavor.
They do.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I think this is a good wrap up to the very first homebrew episode. I think certainly we've only really just scratched the surface of homebrew.
Right.
I mean, there's so much more to talk about. All your adjuncts, your grains, different kinds of grains, and all that kind of stuff. So much more to talk about. But that will be really in upcoming episodes.
I learned a lot. I've never brewed, and after watching Davey, I think I can do the hand motions. And
Yeah, you can probably
make it
do it. You
definitely
guys
do
like
the
throw
hand
some shit together.
Yeah.
Right.
Bloop,
And-
bloop, 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 bloop.
Look for the light.
Look for the
Right.
light.
So we will do another episode of homebrew for sure. Final words, Davey. What do you got?
Get excited. Don't wear yourself out with all the stuff, and figure out what you like and make it. And it is what it is. And if it's good enough, then it's good enough.
Okay, this coming from the Hillbilly Savant Brewer.
Absolutely.
Tom, what do you got? What do you got? Final words.
Well, it was a good conversation with Davey. I really appreciate your time today. Learned a lot about you and how your style of brewing and everything. So everybody's a little bit different. So that's okay.
And you're way off
Hey,
on something else, David.
I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, I mean, that's what makes everybody unique, right? Everybody's
Right.
got a different style and what they like.
Right.
And
I'm not trying to become a brewer, so
Right.
like selling stuff. I just want to make something that
Yeah.
I enjoy and learn stuff from it.
yeah, very good.
Right?
You are doing a lot of learning,
A lot of learning. You learn by failing.
and you are definitely
Failing
learning.
hard. Learning lots, failing hard.
Yeah. All right, what about you, Mike? I know you did come in a little bit late, but thank you for joining us for our season finale, season 1 finale. What do you got for us? Final words of the year. Go.
Well, my final words are, first of all, thanks for inviting me. It was a last minute notice, and, I got over here in time to fix my hair and be here. But more than anything, I've learned a lot about brewing today. And to kind of just recap beer for me this last year, you guys have ruined me. I really used to just enjoy PBR and cheap beers and stuff like that, but the beers over the fence this last year have changed how I go to the store and what I buy and what I bring home, and I thank you for that because I enjoy beer even more. So thank you.
Hey, everybody deserves to taste a good beer. Even you, Davey. Even you. So every chance I get, I'm going to share some good beer with you.
Salut and Prost and
What the fuck are you talking about?
what's another cheers?
Are you like
Is there
trilingual?
French? What does French people
Cheers.
I
say?
think that was a salute.
Cheers. Cheers.
All right.
Salut. Prost.
Yep, what Davey said. All that kind of shit. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Appreciate you listening. And Davey, I do believe that you have our beer quote for today. Can you tell us what the beer quote is today? It's all you.
Okay, I can. And it reminds me of another quote, but I'm not going to preface this quote. I'm just going to tell you what it is. Fermentation may have been a greater discovery than fire.
Wow.
Wow.
Agreed.
I'd like to drink with that guy.
Yeah, right?
Right?
Yeah, he hangs out in parks and shit.
Right?
Natural history, the Freud Shakespeare Wilderness, Monkey's Bridge. I don't know what that is.
Right? Sounds like a great guy. So,
Is he alive still? Because I feel bad that I didn't really give him a lot of
I
props.
really don't know, but I don't think he's going to listen to this episode. So I don't think it
I
matters.
think it'll be all right.
Okay, Tom, What do you got for us?
Yeah, so like always, you can email us with any questions, a request, or beers that you want us to try. So email us at mtcans2022@gmail.com, or you can always hit us up on Instagram or Facebook at mt_cans.
If there's something you want us to try, let us know. We'll give you our honest opinion. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not
do it.
all of us are IPA drinking snobs. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Davey. Glad we had you on the show today.
you're welcome for a social class fixation.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.